What's up, guys? This is Kalo, and normally I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, and we are back for yet another episode of The Cutting Board, and today I am joined by Aiden. Why don't you say what's up?
I don't know who I'm supposed to represent now, so hi, I am Aiden.
That is Aiden. And in the vein of spooky season, I think today is a good day to talk about something equally as scary as horror games themselves. And I'm talking about that secondhand gaming market and those lovely people in the gaming world we'd like to call scalpers. The people that take the consoles out of people's carts and they rip them from you. They take them from you and they sell them for exorbitant amounts of money online. Now, I want to say, as a blanket statement, getting a new console, whether that's gonna be the Switch 2 when it releases, if it releases, or when the Xbox Series X and the PS5 originally came out, when any new console comes out, it is a very, very stressful time to get your hands on a console, especially nowadays. But to add in that flavor of I can have it in my cart for like 15, 20 minutes, but can't press checkout, take my money, that is a problem. So, your experience in buying consoles, you're a lucky lad. You've hit the lottery more than once. I need to know your secrets here.
Okay, you know what? For anyone who is watching and anyone who wants to know, I will divulge a few secrets for you.
Let me get my notepad. I gotta write this down.
No, no, like seriously, if you actually want to get these, this is actually important. So, for starters, like say for instance, I was one of the people who was lucky enough to get a 30th anniversary edition PS5 Pro. Now, you can call me crazy all you want for spending $1,000 on a console. Hey, it's whatever. I like the original PlayStation, so
There you
screw
go.
you people. But but anyway, I didn't use all the methods for this, but at least for PlayStation, at least for Sony, where that's concerned, what I did was I have at least a minimum three different PlayStation accounts that I can pull from. And that's PlayStation Plus accounts because I have one for my wife, I have one for my brother-in-law, I have one for me. Now, each one of those, like I just signed into each one on an individual browser and went, hey, go on to the queue, get placed in a random position, and see if I get lucky. I ended up getting lucky on one of them, so that way I could buy one. Now, other than that, there's different means of doing it. One of the big ways that scalpers do it, and one of the big ways that you can help combat scalpers is by downloading like bots that purchase stuff for you.
Yeah.
I relied on that once upon a time. I don't really recommend it because there's a lot of really shady ones that you can download that can give you viruses. But if you happen to find a good bot like the way I did, it ended up getting deleted, so that's why I'm not going to say it. But with those, basically you put in your information or you can like just do like a little bit of coding and just say, hey, bot, buy this thing as soon as it goes live. And that typically will end up beating anybody who's just going alone, like going at it without any assisting tools. Now, third thing that you can do, or well, second thing I guess you can do, depending on which one you're handling here. But for instance, how I was able to get the Nintendo Switch whenever it first released, when they were having troubles with stock, is there is an application that you can download. It's a Chrome extension called Octoshop. Basically, you can tell it to look for specific products and give it specific websites to search for those products. And whenever that product goes live for a pre-order or a sale on said website, it'll just notify you. So that way you can just immediately go on and purchase it.
There you go.
That helped me out a lot. And not just with Nintendo Switches, but also it helped me out when the PS5 originally released because I ended up purchasing three of them as Christmas presents for people at some point. And yeah, so there you go, people, if you need help.
There's your help. But if you're like me, you struggle to get the consoles. Luckily, whenever the Xbox Series X launched, I somehow, some way got into a thing at Best Buy and I got my console day one. I was so happy. Why I needed it at that point in time, I don't know. I still don't know to this day. But anyway, that's a whole other problem for another day. I struck out on this PS5 anniversary edition. I was going to get the Slim. You know, it's whatever. That leaves a person like me to kind of go to the secondhand market. We all know how that normally goes. I have talked at length about games in the past from Nintendo that I want, and I go online on eBay, type it in, $400, complete inbox, blah blah blah. Ain't paying that. No way, no how. Now, the secondhand market here for scalpers, it just, I live in a black and white world in gaming where I'm like, all right, you had the 30th anniversary, you seen the backlash everyone gave you. Just make more. And I know it's not as simple as that, and I know you're kind of defeating the purpose of a special edition console, but whenever you limit it to 12,000 and, you know, you do these outrageous things, we got more on that later on in this video, it just doesn't make sense to me. Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, just make a little bit more? I'm not saying make 1,000,000 more. Make a few more. Or, here's a better thing, for the PlayStation at least, do the side plates or whatever. Release some of those.
Yeah, I mean, the side plate thing I think would be a good option for them. But, I mean, I don't mind that they limit them. I mean, really, I don't mind that at all, considering, I mean, they wouldn't be limited edition or special in any way if you made that the extremely common, you know? But, I mean, really, though, it does help to do that for base consoles, like, have a little bit more of an expectation as to how much you're going to sell. I mean, they completely underestimated how many they were going to sell with the PS5, and that's how you ended up with stock shortages.
Yeah.
That, and it didn't help the whole, like, COVID era chip stuff, but be that as it may, they still didn't make enough to begin with, to the point where, like, they could withstand some of the, like, all the sales. But really, they just, I don't know. I lost my train of thought on that one, but well, like I was saying, they just need to do better when it comes to like stock and everything in general. But yeah,
You can release a file on NSO and just be like, hey, 30 megabytes for Pokemon XD Gale Darkness. I always go back to that game. I'm sorry. I know more games, but that's the game I want. Do that. Like, release it and be like, hey, be quiet. Here you go. I can't go on the secondhand market and look at a copy for $230 and be like, yeah, I'm just going to get it. And then forget if my GameCube stops working. Then I'm screwed there. I have the game, but my GameCube doesn't work. So it's like, I need some type of balance here with the games.
see, that one's not that big of an issue to me because, like, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Nintendo needs to do more with that, but like, that's not a big issue to me because, like, that's not people directly, like, scalping the game or anything, or, like, telling, or, like, taking it from someone else. They already own the game. They're good. They can resell it if they want to resell it. Up to them, really. But, like, where it comes down to, like, a major issue is, like, people who are, like, scalpers who are going out of their way with, like, the use of bots and use of tools and everything to
Yeah.
purchase items, like, way before other people can, and purchasing like 10 of them. I have seen these tools in effect. I know what they're capable of. I know that they can just go, oh, hey, I'm going to buy 10 at one time.
Yeah.
And then there you go. You don't even have a chance to get them and everything. And there needs to be a better way for companies to completely stop that. I mean, like, I've seen firsthand a few of them. I mean, GameStop, when I worked there, they stopped doing online pre-orders for some stuff, and you had to go in person in order to actually pre-order some things. That way, they could guarantee that that a real person was picking it up and everything, and they also limited it to only having like one or two pre-orders per person.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're really they did crack down on that. I give GameStop at least a little bit of credit for that because like they did actually try to crack down on that. And I also give Sony credit a little bit too because they are doing something with the whole virtual queue thing. But as I've stated, You can easily get around that. A scammer can easily get around that if they go, I'm going to make 30 fake PlayStation Plus accounts that are all like $10 subscription accounts, like so. They're all paid for 1 month. And yeah, I mean, sure, you're spending like $30 making those or like $300 making those like 30 accounts,
You'll make it back
but
tenfold.
you're gonna make it back tenfold, like you just said. If one of those 30 accounts ends up getting in the first in line, or even if like two or three of them get really close in that line, then there you go. They're eligible, and you can have them shipped to different areas, so that way they're not shipped to the same address. Because they tried to limit it to there, where it was, oh, you can't have two of the same item shipped to the same address. But you can also get around that if you go, oh, here's a physical address, here's a PO box, here's another physical address for a friend or whatever. You can have it shipped to like three different areas. And then there you go. You're still getting three consoles that you can resell because you stole them from other people. And like back when the PS5 happened, that was a huge issue to the point where people were estimating like $43 million worth of the sales for PS5 were towards scalpers.
My gosh. That's insane. And, we're talking about ways to like combat this, and a story I seen recently that made me laugh a little bit surrounded Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, where Xbox is making a limited edition, or very limited edition, console for the game. It's like a solid gold brick. It looks Indiana Jones-esque. But there's a catch. They're doing these like pop-up stores or whatever. I don't know what. I think it's like just the Microsoft store, where you can go to the place and you have to solve a puzzle, much like Indiana Jones, to be entered to win the console. So solving the puzzle that could be very hard might not even guarantee you the console. It's like, what is going on there? Like, I love Xbox, but why? Like, why? Like, they do these things now, like PlayStation does with the side plates, where they have the Xbox console wraps. I love those. I think those should definitely be used more. Or hear me out, don't save the limited edition cool looking consoles for the end of the console's life cycle like Nintendo does, where they release all these cool looking Zelda Switches and like, I have mine, but it's too late. I already own one. I'm not going to buy like 6 others. But yeah, that Indiana Jones thing really just threw me for a loop.
Oh no, I respect that one. I respect that one a lot, where you have to solve a puzzle in order to get the console. I mean, granted, I think you should probably have to, solve the puzzle to be able to actually purchase the console, not just
Yeah.
enter for a chance to win.
Well, they got those little captcha, whatever, like, is this a traffic light? And then I always get pressured at, like, the little centimeters in the corner. Yeah, that's kind of like what Indiana Jones does. It's all the same. But yeah, you don't even get to, like, get the console if you solve the puzzle. You solve the puzzle to enter to get the console.
Yeah, which that that one's a bit ridiculous, but I love it. I love it because it's so Indiana Jones style, but also that's ridiculous.
It's like, the lack of better terms, the ultimate blue balls. You get there, you solve the puzzle, and it's like, oh my gosh, I did it. And they're like hype you up. And then it's like, oh, here's your little raffle ticket. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's so
I don't know.
painstaking.
It's so hard though to say like what companies can actually do to like prevent scalping at this point, because you have like you have Sony who's doing like the whole, oh, you can't ship multiple stuff to the same address, you can't ship multiple stuff to like with someone with the same name. Even you also have the whole, oh, you have to have a PlayStation Plus account, and on top of that you also have to like go into a virtual queue where it's like completely randomized so everyone has a fair shot and everything. I've already talked about how like scalpers can easily get around that stuff, but I have no idea where they go from there besides like figuring out some way to ban IPs, like ban IP addresses or something, because I mean, like, even through the use of whatever tools they are, like that, like change that you can use to change your IP address and everything. If they can figure out a way to like get through that and be able to see everyone's actual IP addresses, so that way, two people can't buy something from the same IP address, that would be good. But
Yeah. I I
I mean,
I guess a direct thing would be to just make more, because then you don't like. There's no need to get it from the scalper. But then, like what you said
yeah,
earlier, it's like you kind of negate the whole special edition for the. And to clarify, with the
yeah,
PlayStation anniversary, I'm saying make more than 12,000. I'm not saying make like 50 million and like make it like a base
yeah,
PS5. It's just those things, like especially in that context where you're celebrating 30 years of PlayStation. It's like I'm pretty sure there are more than 12,000 people out there that love PlayStation that
yeah.
would willingly go out and buy. I was one
On
of
the
those
30th
people.
anniversary, just do
Yeah.
30 of them.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my gosh. 30, if they did 30 of those, oh my gosh. The
They'd be
internet would.
selling for like millions.
It's so insane. And like, I get we're all grown and like we can do whatever we want with our money. But like, who's paying these prices? I need to know. Like,
Yeah.
what was the biggest asking price you had some of them up for that sold or whatever?
Oh, the biggest one that was posted, I don't know if it sold. I didn't track it. I should have tracked it. I feel bad that I didn't now.
Ah,
But at the time of release, the biggest one that I saw was in the UK, where there was someone who posted it for like 10,000 like euros,
yeah.
and really that translates to like 13,000 US. So like
Insane.
13 grand for a console that you're spending $1,000 on. That's 13 times the profit on
It's
that. But
insane.
now I've been scrolling through, and the biggest one that I've seen so far is someone has it posted for $4,999.99, so 5 grand, or best offer. It doesn't say that they sold any, so I don't think any of them are going for that high. Then you also have one that says there's three bids on one. So this one actually will sell. But there are three bids on one where the current bid is $3,650. So at the very least, someone is spending like $3,700 if like, oh wait, no, it has free shipping. So like 3,650 on it. So there is that. But there are a lot of people who are watching those ones that are over 4 grand or best offer. So
It's like whenever you near a down payment on a car, we should question some of this stuff. I don't know.
yeah, possibly.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just dumb and yapping too much about all this. But yeah, it's out of hand. And I don't know. I mean, grant you, for the PS5 Pro, we've been there, done that, talked about the price at base value being 700, how that pushes this price tag up even more on the secondhand market. Now you add in the 30th anniversary and the special, blah, blah, blah. You're really hiking it up there. But yeah,
Yeah,
scalpers are just going to be here. I think that's the main gist of this, where
yeah.
scalpers are here until, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what'll stop them.
Right. They're always going to be here. The only thing that will stop them is not buying from them.
Yeah.
Resist the urge. Don't purchase the limited edition thing. I get that's not what anyone wants to hear, but
No.
so for instance, okay, they're kind of doing it with the 30th anniversary edition. They released more of them, to my knowledge, a little bit, but they did it back in the day where it was like the limited edition console for Kingdom Hearts 3, I want to say, or maybe it was one of the Final Fantasy ones, where they released a second wave of them.
Yeah.
And so those who bought them for the jacked up price, okay, cool, you bought it for more than you needed because there was a second wave of them. Same thing with like the PS5. It's like people bought the PS5 when it first launched because scalpers were like selling them for so high. People bought the PS5 for like 700, 800, 900, thousands of dollars even. And you didn't need to do that because there were going to be more available later on. And so like the more you give power to the scalpers, the more they're going to abuse that power. And the more they're going to make you pay that price. But if you just don't buy from them, then they lose all their power. And then they have to sell their consoles for dirt cheap. Or they have to sell them back to GameStop or something for and get like cash value or get whatever value for them that they can.
Yeah. I mean, I do this thing where, like, patience really, there's a quote, patience saves pockets. That's one of these YouTubers I watch. He always says that. I wanted the Spider-Man PS4 Pro, and I waited for forever until the PS5 came out, and I got that console at GameStop for like $100. It's
Yep.
like at some point I can get it. It's just how long am I willing to wait? Like,
Yeah, at some point, that collector console, someone's gonna just bring it to a reseller.
yeah, it's gonna be
I mean,
there.
I used to work at GameStop. I can vouch for this. I have seen so many like collector consoles come in just because people got tired of them. And they just thought, oh yeah, you know what? It's fun to have this console at the time, and then they get rid of it. And like that's how I got my PS4 Pro like Spider-Man edition. And then I ended up giving it to a friend of mine because they still needed one, and I had two of them because I had the Kingdom Hearts one too. But like I, when working at GameStop, would see like, oh, here's this Final Fantasy one that someone just returned, or here's this like Kingdom Hearts one or Spider-Man one or whatever that someone just returned or traded in, and then someone next day would just come in and be like, oh, you know what? Do you have a PS4 Pro? And then we'd be like, yeah, is there a version that you're looking for? And then they'd be like, oh, do you have any collector's edition ones? And we'd just be like, yeah, here you go.
Boom. There's gonna be a
It would be
time.
so cool.
There's gonna be a time where they're available and they're just there. It's just up to you to wait and be responsible. But I also get the urge to just get it. Like I lack impulse control. 110%. I was this close. If it was in my cart to getting that PS5 Pro, no matter how much I bag it, I was willing. If it was in my cart and clean checkout, you best believe we would have been doing it like the whole unboxing here on Game Sandwich. But alas, I was not destined to get one.
I mean, I'll do an unboxing with you.
There you go. I'll just sit here
When I
and
get
watch.
mine, we can. When I get mine, we'll just do an unboxing video together. I'll be like, here you go, look,
Like, that's nice.
special.
I wish I had one. But your any closing thoughts on scalping this whole thing, or we've said everything to be said here.
I mean, scalping, obviously, it's wrong. I mean, honestly, if you're watching this and you're someone who scalps consoles, then, like, screw off. Sorry. I have nothing nice to say to you. You shouldn't do it. But really, like I said, the best way to combat scalping is really just to not give them the power.
Yeah.
Or if you're really that desperate to get consoles and like you or like a game that's a limited edition or whatever, then just kind of listen to the tips that I told you because like they really do help, and I'm not like just bullshitting anybody. Like Octoshop really has helped me get stuff that I wanted. Like I'm sure nobody can fully see it, but I have a lot of collection stuff because I like to collect things.
Yeah.
And so like I use Octoshop. It helps me. It's a good Chrome extension. If you can find one and you want to use a bot to help you purchase an item, I mean, there's no shame in that. It's just be careful with the ones that you buy or like the ones that you download. I mean, not buy because you don't typically have to buy bots, but just be really careful with it. Don't end up, just be sure that you're not downloading something that is an obvious like virus or malware thing that's going to destroy your computer. And really, like I said, if it comes to PlayStation and it's purchasing stuff that has like that requires a PlayStation account or requires an account of some sort, just make multiple accounts, pay the base fee that's a monthly fee of like $10 and like yeah, sure, it's gonna cost you there. It's gonna be like $50 up front or something if you want to make five different like accounts,
Yeah.
give them each different names, yada yada yada. But that ups your chances in the queues.
There you go.
I mean, I just am lucky and have like four different people that I can use because including myself for PlayStation stuff.
Yeah.
But so I don't have to do multiple. But if you do have to, or like you feel the need to, I mean, it's an option that you can do.
There you go. We got you the tips. It's up to you to use the tools we have presented you. But yeah, that about does it here for this episode of The Cutting Board. If you want to talk more about video games or your latest pickups in the gaming world, join our Discord channel. We're always talking about video games there. Keep it locked to Game Sandwich for all your gaming news, rumors, and reviews on all social media channels like X, Instagram, all that fun stuff. But as of right now, I've been Kalo, joined by Aiden, and we'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed today's video and want more content just like this, consider subscribing to Game Sandwich for all your news, rumors, and reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.